Hi y'all, it's Miss Lucas here. Today we're going to be talking about our clarinet, how to put it together, how to take it apart, what is cork grease and do I need it, my reed, my tone, how do I make a noise, all of that, and all your questions will be answered in this video. So let's get to it. I have my case here and I have another clarinet here. Of course, they're two different cases, as you can see. But our logo is going to be faced up. You can either have it on a table or in your lap. And we're just going to pop it open so that our clarinet and all of its pieces are right. So as soon as we open our instrument, we're going to look for the two biggest pieces. So these are going to be your two biggest pieces. Of course, one is bigger than the other, and these are called your joints. There's an upper joint and a lower joint. The upper joint is going to be smaller, and the lower joint is going to be a little bit bigger, and there's a little bit more going on it. So after we find our upper and our lower joint, we're going to find these little pieces on them. They should move when you press down on your tone holes. They should move up and down. Same thing on the lower joint. It's just going to be over here and it's going to move up and down, that little guy, and they're going to match up together when we put them together. So you do not want to press this one because you don't want this one up while this one's up. It's going to clash together and it's not going to work. So we're going to press this tone hole together and we're just going to shimmy it on down. If it's a little hard to put it together, like that one was a little hard for me to put together, what do? That's when you're going to need your cork grease. So it's going to be this chapstick looking stuff. And all you're going to do is rub your finger on it. And you're going to just rub it on the cork. Awesome. So we just made sure that everything is easy. You can also do it with the one on the inside. I did it off camera. Next, we're going to put the bell on. So the bell is going to be this piece that looks just like this. It kind of looks like a bell. And we're going to put it at the bottom of the instrument. So the next part we're going to put on is going to be called the barrel. This is the barrel. And there's going to be a bigger side and a smaller side. We want the bigger side down because it's going to go from big to small. And that is going to be popped on right there. You see how easy it was to put on? Cork grease. And the next part we're going to put on, and our last part, is going to be our mouthpiece. So our mouthpiece has technically 3 different parts. And that's going to be the metal part, which is the ligature, the actual mouthpiece, and then also our reed. So we're not going to worry about the reed right now. We're just going to be worried about the mouthpiece and the ligature. So the ligature and the mouthpiece go together, and they're going to just pop right on, where the screws of the ligature and the hole of the mouthpiece is going to be on the same side, exactly in line with the thumb hole in the back. And you just pop it on. And now we have our clarinet together besides our reed. So our reed, what kind of reed do we need? We need a 2.5 reed for right now, okay? And I suggest if you're going to go home and ask your parents to, hey, can I get some reeds? Can I go buy some reeds? I would get the Valdoran 2.5 reed. This is going to be the best for you right now, and it's going to make you sound amazing. So now we're going to talk about how to put our reed on the instrument and what do we need to do beforehand. So we're going to put it in our mouth, just like laying on our tongue and like that. This is called soaking our reed. We want it to be a little bit moist before we put it on, so it can make a better sound and it can vibrate better on the mouthpiece, because that's what we're doing when we blow on it. It's just vibrating. So as we're putting the instrument together, this is what we're going to do. So now it is moist enough to put on our actual instrument. Now that we just soaked our reed, we're going to put it on our instrument. So you're going to need to loosen up going down on the ligature so that we can be able to take it off. And we're going to put our reed in and leave just a little bit of space I'll show you. Just a little bit of the blackness should be on top so that the reed isn't overshooting, so it's not like this and it's not too far under. Just a little bit. If you imagine your fingernail going right there, that's how much space there should be. Now the ligature should be pretty much underneath. There's like a little swoop in your reed. I have one right here. The little swoop right here. That's where your ligature should be, on the thicker side of your reed. So the thicker side, the thinner side. And that's where we're going to tighten the ligature, making sure that reed is where you need it. Of course, we can adjust later if it's not getting the right sound, but this is going to set you up for success. So we're going to take the barrel off with the mouthpiece on it, and we're just going to leave our clarinet in our lap. Just be careful, make sure it's not going to hit anything. First, we're going to talk about our mouth, which is our most important part of playing our instrument. So our bottom lip is going to act as a pillow that's going to sleep on our reed. It's going to be the barrier between our bottom teeth and the reed. We don't want to damage the reed, so do not bite on the bottom. That's not good for it. You're going to make sure that that pillow is there, and it's just going to go on like this. Now the top teeth are going to rest on top of your mouthpiece, so you're going to look like this. Pillow. So after we have this, we can't just be like this all day long. So we're going to have to close our mouth and make sure that these corners of your mouth are going to be firm. By firm, I mean closed. We do not want any air getting out on the side just through the mouthpiece. So it should look like this. No air is going to get out over here. So now, all we have to do left is blow. Another thing I want to mention, don't go too low or too high. You'll figure out, because if I go too deep into the, it's not going to sound good. It sounds very annoying. And if we go too high, we're not going to be able to even make a noise. So we want to make sure we Goldilocks, find that middle. And we're perfect. Now, we're just going to pop this bad boy on, like I said, in line with the thumb hole. And we're going to try to play an open G, so that means none of our fingers are pressing down. We have this on the little thumb rest right there. And all of them should be covering the thumb holes, but not pressing. So it's just floating. And you're doing the same thing that you just did with just the barrel and the mouthpiece, but now we're on the instrument and it sounds a lot prettier. We have to talk about the position of the clarinet, because we can't play like this. It's gonna squeak. We don't want to squeak. And we can't play it too far out. We're not a trumpet, because it's gonna sound like this. Not good. It's also gonna squeak. So we need to find that Goldilocks center. If you need to just play, to find what angle you need to be at, that's totally fine. Find that angle. For me, if I'm sitting up straight on my chair, I'm gonna find where my knees are and go just a little bit above that. The next part we want to make sure is that this chin is as flat as we can be. So if that means like kind of opening the inside of your mouth, that's going to be called your aperture. To make that chin flat, like this. Now let's do it on our mouthpiece. That's going to make us have the best sound. How do we start? How do we stop? That's going to be with our tongue. So this is going to be called articulation. So we're going to stop the tongue on the reed, but our air is not going to stop. So if we go like this, making sure that you can feel the air from your mouth and go, it's kind of like a faucet. When you go like this, when the water's running, the water's not stopping, but it's just you're separating the water. So act like you're doing that, but with your tongue. So the air is the water and your tongue is going to be your finger going across it. So all you're doing is but on the reed. And how the tongue is going to look? Like that. Like you're a lizard almost. And then as we play, all you're doing is going with your tongue while the air is still going. Let's do this together. Awesome. We learned how to start and stop our notes. So I'm going to start with the barrel. Just twist it off. Put it where it goes in the case. Then I'm going to take the barrel and the mouthpiece, unscrewing the ligature so my reed can come out, and just popping that reed out so I can put it in my little case. But what we want to do before is kind of wipe it off, making sure it's not that wet, because we don't want any germs growing or bacteria growing. Then I'm going to take the ligature off so it's just easier to separate these two. Then we're going to take our upper joint and our lower joint, and we're going to make sure that we're pressing down, not pressing any of these, and slowly twist off like that. We don't want to twist all the way because these two are going to clash together and we don't want to break our instrument. And then we're going to put these back in its case. So that's all you need to know about your clarinet so far. I'm so excited to go on this musical journey with you guys, and I can't wait to see you guys play so many noises and so many notes on your clarinets.